This is the 2024 Toyota Sienna Limited, which is the top trim level in Canada. It is a 7-passenger layout, and it is an all-wheel drive hybrid. Under the hood, it has a gasoline-powered engine. It's a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, making 189 horsepower and 176 pound-feet of torque. But it also has an electric motor at the front that makes another 180 horsepower and 199 pound-feet of torque. And it has another electric motor at the rear, which makes another 54 horsepower and 89 pound-feet of torque, for a combined total of 245 horsepower and completely unknown torque, as they don't say. There is no shaft going to the rear. The all-wheel drive is electronic, as only the rear motor drives the rear wheels. And for a transmission, you get a very smooth eCVT with simulated gears, and it's completely fine as long as you just ignore it. Prices in Canada for the limited model start at 63,000 Canadian dollars, plus taxes of course. In the US, the same trim level costs $51,500, but there's also a platinum model, which is more expensive and probably the same as the Canadian limited, who knows. The Sienna is a good-looking van on the outside, possibly the best-looking one, in my eyes at least, unless you get a color like this one, which is called the Sunset Bronze Mica, or just Junior Poop Metallic. They have a really good-looking blue and a very good-looking red, so please don't buy this one that looks like poo. Pick one of the other ones. And did you just see? The turning radius is actually fantastic. This thing is very easy to maneuver, despite being quite long. The wheels, they cut a lot, so it's kind of like whoosh, nice little pivot there, and you literally sit right behind the front wheel, so it's kind of funny. Inside, it also looks quite nice. It has this really cool flat surface. It's very unusual, but practical actually, since you can use the front part as a shelf and the rest is pretty practical. You have like some nice little phone holders here, your cup holders, another area here that you can possibly put a phone. Mine doesn't fit, but then you have more cup holders here, and then there's a massive bin in the middle here, and you got this built-in armrest, which is really nice. And underneath here, there's a lot of storage, so this is kind of like a bridge on top of this storage. However, the storage has a very tiny lip, so don't put anything that can potentially tip over and get tangled in your feet and you get killed, or kill someone else. Toyota says that all the minivan owners report that they don't like that the minivans feel like you're driving a bus. And this one also feels exactly like you're driving a bus. There's no change really, but it is nice. It's a very comfortable bus. Like, the driving position is fine. Actually, I'm not expecting anything different. It is a little bit, the steering wheel is a bit horizontal, whatever, but you can get comfortable. I'm perfectly fine here. The seat is really comfortable. I like this armrest here. Honestly, this is one of the comfiest rides. Like, if I had to go on a really long road trip with the whole family, this is really good. You also get a heated steering wheel. You get heated and ventilated front seats. So yeah, really, who's complaining here? The instrument cluster is clear and has a very useful screen in the middle, which contains all the information you really need. The infotainment, however, is the old generation one, and it's absolutely beep. It only supports wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and the native stuff is an absolute nightmare to navigate. It just looks horrible. Whatever, you have this bird's eye view that gives you a surround view, but the resolution is terrible. And it's really funny because the rear view camera is also really poor quality, but the mirror, when you flick the switch to look behind you, the digital mirror, the image quality is amazing. Like, what the beep? Anyway, the rear sliding doors are powered and comfort access enabled, which is fantastic. They slide open quite quickly and very wide. And of course, when open, they reveal where the real magic happens over here. Climb in and pick one of the middle row seats, and you can slide it like an amusement park. It goes really forward and really backwards. It also reclines. It has the leg support that pops up, so you can really turn it into like a chaise lounge chair. They are also heated and have armrests on both sides. They have cup holders. They're very comfortable to sit in, I have to admit. The rear passengers also get a ton of plugs to charge stuff. They also get their own climate controls with the roof vents and an entertainment screen with an HDMI port. I hooked up a Chromecast and tethered off my phone, and boom, instant smart TV features. The kids loved it. And of course, you can listen to your audio through the provided wireless headphones, or you can use the very good JBL sound system to hear your content. The third row is also very comfortable for two, even adults actually, but the width is a little bit tight, so you'd really need to squeeze in a third person there. So let's call this vehicle a 6+1 regarding passengers. The great thing about minivans, and also this one of course, is that the trunk goes all the way to the bottom. So even with all seats up, you get amazing space, especially when compared to like a 5-seater mid-sized SUV. Fold the rear seats down and yeah, you can slowly start to convert this thing to a cargo van. The roominess just gets crazy for loading. On the road, the Sienna is really smooth. I really like how it drives. I mean, I'm not generally a fan of minivans, but this one it's starting to, it's creating a soft spot in my heart for it. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of good things happening here, and I shall explain. First of all, as a driver, I'm actually quite enjoying this because I'm not only comfortable, the Sienna is also quite nice to drive. The steering wheel, for example, has good weight to it. Like, it feels quite nice, which is surprising. The brakes, despite being a hybrid, the moment you touch them, they grab. Nice brake pedal. From 100 to 0, it stopped in 46 meters, but don't really pay attention to that because the roads are salty, they're dirty, it's on winter tires, so useless measurement, but you know what? The brakes, they do feel quite powerful. Now, the hybrid system is just like any other Toyota hybrid system. It's basically seamless, like everything goes in and out. You don't really feel anything. You have the energy monitor, so you can see like when the gasoline engine is providing power. You have the front motor, the rear motor, the all-wheel drive. There's no shaft in the middle. There's nothing connecting the front and the back, so the rear is software controlled for the all-wheel drive system, which is great because it works. And the other day, there was a snowstorm, so I did have to drive this thing in quite heavy snow. There was zero traction issues because especially in minivans, when they're front-wheel drive, you can break traction very easily in slippery situations. This one was an absolute tank. It just plowed through everything. No wheel spin, no nothing. It was fantastic. And you know what? You get all that with amazing fuel economy. 7.7 liters per 100 was my combined average this week, or it's a little bit over 30 miles per gallon. 30 miles per gallon in a minivan that's all-wheel drive and full size. And you know what? Regarding power, it has a CVT. Doesn't make the best soundtrack, but you know what? Power is more than adequate. 0 to 60 miles an hour comes in 8.3 seconds. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, 9.1. So yes, it's not the quickest thing on the planet, but in a minivan, do you really need it to be the quickest thing on the planet? No. Did I hold up traffic this week? No. Did I need more power? No. Did I enjoy myself? Yes. Did I enjoy going to the pump and paying $30 for the whole week worth of gas? Yes. And it's regular. So yeah, you know what? I really like this thing. And handling wise, I mean, it turns. It has McPherson struts in the front. It has multi-link rear suspension. So it's built quite nice. I can't say, like, engineering wise, it's absolutely great. It's not sporty. Like, if you, let's say, attempt to take a turn, yeah, it will lean. But you know what? You can really feel the rear kicking in. Like, the all-wheel drive actually does make a very good difference. And that's like, the effect of it is really emphasized in bad weather. So you can really tell what it's doing, because when everything is dry, you can't really tell much unless you go completely nuts. You have a nice little sunroof here, manual open and close. You know what? It's actually a very nice minivan to drive. On the highway, it's quiet, great road trips. Yeah, you do get rattles and stuff inside, like over bumps, but you know what? There's a lot of things in here, so for sure something's gonna rattle. It's not like coming from the dash or anything, but you know, it's like so many things, seat belts, trims, straps, whatever. So yeah, there are some interior noises, but you know what? Crank the JBL sound system on, you won't hear nothing. Over bumpy stuff, the suspension does a great job absorbing the majority of it. It is comfort tuned, unless you get the XSC trim level that has a sport tuned suspension, which is as useful as getting a gold plated toothbrush. Honestly, it's like, don't do that. The big advantage the Sienna has over its competition is that you can get it hybrid and all-wheel drive at the same time. Actually, hybrid is standard. You can get a non-hybrid, which is fantastic. So with good reliability records and basically providing families with low running costs and all the amenities they really need, the 24 Sienna is an absolute winner in the segment, especially because you can get it in hybrid and all-wheel drive at the same time. I keep saying that, but I know it's very important. It's not cheap. Yes, I know, but nowadays nothing is cheap, so can't really blame it. Just spend an additional $1,000 when buying one so you can get the tow bar and the hitch at the back, because this thing can tow up to 3,500 pounds, which is very cool to have. And because in the used car market, a lot of professionals buy these things as like work vehicles afterwards. It's a good selling point if you have that tow hitch, because they're going to need it. Overall score is 8.5 out of 10 with an update to the infotainment system and rear view camera and matching tones for the beige, really. Because if you notice carefully, this beige, which is the same as the seat and this, doesn't match what's on the door. And that kind of annoys me. I know it's on purpose, but I don't like it. Also, the hazard button here, when you're driving, is perfectly hidden behind the steering wheel. It's like the worst place they could have put this. Because like when you're driving and there's an emergency and you need to press it, you're like, where the f*** is it? Oh yeah, it's right there, hidden. Anyway, if they fix these minor things for 2025, the Sienna would have scored a 9.5 because it's that good. I know it's really funny how I'm praising a minivan, but honestly, I do like it. It's very nice. Anyway, so I hope you liked this video. Please share it with your friends. Leave us a like, a comment, whatever you want. Till next time, most importantly, be well and don't buy a poop-colored vehicle. Buy a nice colored vehicle. See you later.
Perfect. Perfect.